Hello everyone, I'm Sparkles, and today I'm going to show you how I made these Pretty Pastel Please inspired school supplies for making some notebooks, a planner, and even an Archie pencil case because I've been way too into Pretty Pastel Please lately. I can't believe I just found her. She's like all the things that I love in one bundle. The cute things, the pastel, the cute burb. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, before we get started with the notebooks, let's make some charms. I don't know why I started doing this, but one of my semesters in college, I had notebooks and I stuck little charms I made on them, and I thought they were so cute and fun, and I've done it ever since. So I want to show you how to make them too. So I'm using this knockoff Shrinky Dink or shrink plastic I got off Amazon, and this is the clear version. I drew up some designs in my notebook. Keep in mind that this stuff will shrink about 3 times smaller than what you draw, so I recommend drawing them pretty big. I just drew what's going to correlate with the notebooks I'm going to be making, but you can do whatever you want. By the way, I'm using Sharpies to draw on the plastic. Once everything is drawn, I cut out the shapes pretty roughly at first because I need to make this a charm, so I need to poke a hole in it now. So I take a hole punch, find a good spot in each charm and punch it. Then I can precisely cut around the edges and make a nice shape, and I do that with all of them. Once that's done, follow the directions on your shrink plastic. For me it was 300-degree oven for about 2 minutes. When they're done shrinking they will look like this and they're ready to become charms. I bought these on Amazon as foam chart holder things, but they also came in a squishy order my boyfriend gave me. So I attached the charm to the lobster clasp part and leave the loop open so I can attach it to my notebook. Okay, let's start with some notebooks. This first one is inspired by the Peaches pencil case seen in the back to school wish haul. This one's fitting because Alex loves peaches and so do I. I wanted to show a few different methods for each notebook, so with this one I'm making a design in Photoshop. It's actually fire alpaca. I went for more cartoony peaches like the kind of ones you see in Animal Crossing, but you can do whatever you like. I also drew up some leaves. Also, if you want to use this design I made, the image will be in the description. And off camera I made a little peaches label. Once that's done, I print out the sheet. Now the notebook I'm using isn't pastel enough for my taste, so I'm painting it with acrylic paint. Also, I thought I should mention that is the wrong notebook. I automatically correlated pink with peaches, but I should have painted the dark green notebook pastel pink. I do that later, but don't make the same mistake I did. Anyway, while my mistake is slowly drying in the corner, let's cut out the peaches. I used an X-Acto knife for the word peaches, but everything else went smoothly with scissors. Once everything is cut out and the right notebook is dry, we can start designing. I put the peaches, leaves, and the word peaches where I thought it looked good, and I added the notebook label to indicate what this notebook is going to be used for. Once I think everything is sorted, I take some Mod Podge, which is basically a craft glue and sealant, and attach everything to the notebook. As an added bonus, I take some washi tape and add it to the label for a nice border. And you could leave it like this if you don't mind chipping, but in my experience, everything stays in place and looks a lot nicer if you put a layer of packing tape on top. This protects the notebook from any strain you put on it in your backpack and gives it a nice shine. I add my little charm I made and it's done. I think this one's my favorite because I like the cute simple design, plus it's peaches and who doesn't like peaches? This next design is mermaid inspired, and you'll need a notebook, watercolors, watercolor paper. You could use normal computer paper, but it won't take the watercolors very well. You need white paint and gold paint and paintbrushes. So to start, I trace the size of the notebook onto my watercolor paper. Then I wet the paper and mix up some watercolor to get some pastel colors. I dot the colors on the wet paper and swirl the colors around to get a watercolor look, obviously. I let that dry. And even though this is watercolor paper, it buckles a little bit if you put too much water on it. So to fix this, I iron the paper to make it lay flat again. Okay, this is the complicated part. I make a little mermaid scale stencil out of the excess paper and I trace the stencil all the way down the paper. I do this as a guide to make it look nice, but you can freehand this if you want. Once that's done, I take out some acrylic paint and follow my pencil lines to the mermaid scales. This, as you might imagine, took a while because I did 2 coats. What would have made this a lot faster and easier would be a paint marker. It's exactly what it sounds like, a marker filled with paint so you can draw instead of using a brush. And it's usually more opaque, so you could more likely just use the gold. But the way I did it, I had to use 2 coats of white and 2 coats of gold. While I'm at it, I fill in a few scales with gold. And to add a little magic, I add some glitter. Here's the tip so glitter doesn't get everywhere. Get a separate sheet of paper and dump the access clear onto it and put it back in the container you got it from. I add the label like last time and seal it with clear tape like last time. And add the charm, and it's done. This one is fun and cute, and I really like the charm I made. This one is simplest of all. This one is dedicated to my love of cats and Archie's hatred of cats. I basically took a piece of paper, and I drew a simple cat face towards the bottom of the paper to look like it's poking its head up, and I draw an ear. I fold the paper in half and cut out that outline so the cat face is symmetrical. I do the same with the eyes. I take a piece of computer paper and trace the outline of the paper so it looks nice and clean, and I fill in the eyes with a black Sharpie. And with this one, I show you how I made the label. I basically just take a piece of computer paper and write the subject on it. Simple. I attach the cat face and the label with Mod Podge and protect it with the clear tape again. And I attach the charm, and it's done. This one is by far the simplest, but it has a way of looking interesting and adorable. This is the last notebook, and I really like this one. First, remember this notebook? This was the one I originally painted for the page design, but we're going to paint it again. I paint the background a pastel blue. I paint 3 coats to make it opaque. But if I were to do this again, I would remove the pink paint because too many layers makes it look chunky and bad. Anyway, once that's dry, I paint a base coat of white for the base of the rainbow. Not painting a base of white would just mean you would have to paint more coats of the rainbow colors. Anyway, I paint the base of the rainbow and some clouds to make it look like the sky. Then we can paint the rainbow. I used pink instead of red and found I had a few dried up colors, so I go back after and fix them. And this was the moment I realized that my rainbow was a little too big and I put too many spaces for the colors. So I take a base color of blue and paint the parts I don't need. And I paint the rest of the rainbow. And off camera, I separate the colors with white for a nice contrast. I put the label on and seal everything with packing tape. And that's it for this one. This one is super cute and all the pastel colors make me happy. This is the last book, which is actually a planner. I made this using cardstock and glue by watching Bailey J's DIY sketchbook tutorial, so I'll leave it in the description if you want to check it out.
or you can just buy an already made planner and not have to do this. Anyway, this one is dedicated to Alex's edgy past, and also I want to make it for myself. I taped the cover, which is just cards that I painted black, and my design is moon phases. So I took a ruler enabling a space the circles. I drew 7. Next I took some white acrylic paint and I mixed it with a good amount of water, and painted in the areas where the moon is showing. You'll see now that I filled in the wrong side and had to fix it, but that's totally fine. I also write Fall 2019 in the corner, since this is my fall semester planner for 2019, obviously. And as always, I seal the planner with tape and it's done. This one is kind of a trendy one, and I really wanted to make it, and I think it'd be classified as pastel goth. Last but not least, we could not do a Pretty Pastel Please inspired DIY without something Archie themed. So let's make this Archie pencil case. I'm not gonna lie, this takes a bit of sewing knowledge, but it's pretty simple. So to start, I cut out this pattern I made, and it's in the description for you if you'd like to make this pencil case too. I cut out the pattern pieces, and I cut the pieces with felt, and the lining piece with the cotton. And I add a little seam allowance to everything. So first, I sew the lining right sides together, leaving a 2-inch gap at the top. I then sew some black buttons for the eyes. If you don't have buttons, you can just cut a little circle of black felt, and I do the same with the body pieces as I did with the lining. I then turn the body pieces right side out, making sure to push out the tail feathers and details. This next part I put the lining in the bag, but it's easier if you just leave it out. Basically, I made a fake hem with fabric glue. I folded the raw edge and glued it in place. I did that with the body piece too. And when that's done, let's work on Archie's wings. I cut out 2 green and 2 red wing pieces. I sew them right sides together almost all the way around. Turn them right side out. Fold in the top edges and use the ladder stitch to sew them closed, which is the sew a stitch on one side, go to the other side, and so on. And for the beak, I start with the yellow felt, and to make an orange gradient, I wet the felt completely and take an orange acrylic paint and start at the base of the beak and make a subtle gradient to the tip of the beak. Once everything is nice and done, I stuff the lining into the body piece, line up the top 10 edges, and do some hand sewing. I do a whip stitch, which is the loop around stitch. Once that's done, I glue Archie's features where they go, like the wings to the side, the feet towards the middle, and the beak to the face. The very last step is to attach some Velcro at the top to actually act like a pencil case. I'm using the sticky back Velcro to make it easier, but it's pretty simple to set Velcro onto the pencil case. So I stick one side of the Velcro onto the lining, stick the soft side of the Velcro to the rough side, and peel off the sticky back and stick it on the opposite side of the pencil case. The very last step is to cut off the access and your Archie pencil case is done. I think this is more cute than practical, but I still like how it turned out.
Okay, that was the video. Thank you for watching very much. I hope you enjoyed. I worked really hard on this video, and if you didn't notice, I'm trying to do like mix in some vlogs and mix in some like these type of videos into my channel recently, so I really hope you enjoyed. If you do, leave a like and subscribe if you want. If you didn't know, I have a main channel where I post doll repainting videos. It's called Sparkly Pony. It's in the eye in the corner. So yeah, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you later. Bye.